Hello, and welcome to a new discourse analysis activity with this great teamwork performed by
Ian Flores.
and me, Abigail Toro. We will analyze two different texts taken from World Wildlife and Epicurious.
We are both English pedagogy students at UCSC. The following information will be provided to assist comprehension and interpretation of the previous mentioned texts. What is a text? A text is a language unit that it could be spoken or written. It has different sizes, communicative function or purposes, types or genres, as well as different structures and syntactical features. But a text will always have an objective. Text types, genre, and functions. There are many text types or genre, but the main ones are narrative, descriptive, instructive, argumentative, and expositor. The function will depend on the genre.
Scaffolding is a simple structure that helps you in designing and making a piece of writing, dependent on the text types given. There are 5 possible sorts of scaffolds in this situation. Each has a different purpose, structure, and linguistic characteristics. Narrative scaffold, descriptive scaffold, instructive scaffold, argumentative scaffold, and expository scaffold. Grammatical features are the functions that words or phrases perform in the context of a certain circumstances. For each text type previously mentioned, exist certain grammatical features. Recurrence rules are the presence of features that reoccur or reappear to produce coherence and cohesiveness. There are 5 types of recurrence rules: repetition, anaphoric procedure, which is divided in 4 types: pronominalization, determination, nominalization, and referential verbs. Lexical substitution, co-reference, and elision.
Progression rules. These rules refer to the constant addition of information in a text, because sentences repeat certain information, but with new one. The way in which information is distributed in a sentence will be represented with 2 elements, theme and rhyme. Theme refers to what the clause is about, and rhyme with the remaining part that develops the theme with information. To identify and analyze the progression rules, there are 3 progression patterns: constant thematic, zigzag thematic, and derived hyperthematic progression. The constant thematic progression shows the same theme, while the rhymes provide new information. In this zigzag thematic progression, the theme of the first clause becomes the theme of the second sentence, and the rhyme of the second sentence becomes the theme of the third one, and so on. And the derived hyperthematic progression presents particular themes that are derived from a particular hypertheme.
Connectors and relations are relationships between the grammatical components and the pieces of information. Relations relate to grammatical features in a text, and there are 7 different types. Connectors relate to sentence, connectors, or links, and there are 2 different types: implicit connection and explicit connection. Now that we have all this knowledge about text types, let's put it in practice with the following text taken from worldwidelife.org.
The type is an article, and the genre of the first text is descriptive, because the function or the purpose of the text is give information, describing a scene, person, or object. In this case, elephants, with technical objective language. And this text does not include personal opinion.
As we learned previously, there are different types of scaffolding for each text type. So for the first text, we will use the descriptive scaffold. general opening statement in the first paragraph, a series of paragraphs about the subject, and a concluding paragraph that in this case is optional.
In this text, there is the use of linking verbs for establishing relational processes, including universal truths, using linking verbs like is and are. Also, we have the use of adjectives like large, long, and extended, and the use of relative clause in this place to show place, using where.
In terms of recurrence rules, we could have found anaphoric procedures being pronominalization, lexical substitution where the hyponyms is before the hypernym, and repetition. To continue this analysis, we're going to analyze progression patterns. To this procedure, we identify the theme, elephant, and the rhyme as a characteristic of them, where the thematic progression pattern that was more frequent in this descriptive text was constant thematic progression, due to that the pattern of constant continuous theme shows up the theme of the first clause becoming the theme and the clauses that follow.
In this text, there is implicit connection that is related with punctuation marks to connect sentences. In this case, using a comma to join or link two sentences. And there is explicit connection as well, in this case using adverbs, like often and usual.
The relation that we could found was adverb plus adjective, subject plus verb agreement, adjective plus noun collocation, and noun plus preposition.
Now, let's put in practice the same that we did in the first text, but now with a different one in terms of time. This text was taken from Epicurus.
The following text is a recipe of gooey butter cake taken from Epicurus. The genre is an instructive text, and its function in this case is to instruct how to make a cake.
The text follows the next scaffolding, which is the same as any instructive text, starting with an introductory statement, giving the aim of the goal, in this case with a form of an introductory paragraph. Then the materials needed for completing the procedure, in this case a list. And finally, a sequence of steps in the correct order, in this case with a title with numbers, and the steps begin with a command.
The grammatical feature that we could found in terms of instructive text were use of imperatives, adverbial clauses, adverbs to describe how action should be performed, and technical language.
The recurrence rules that are mostly used are anaphoric with determination because of the unknown element, anaphoric with pronominalization because of the pronouns, and repetition because of the same element. And the progression pattern that is mostly used is zigzag because the rhyme because the theme in the second sentence. In this text, there is implicit connection that is related with punctuation marks to connect sentences. In this case, the use of a comma to link or connect two sentences. Also, we have explicit connection. In this case, the use of subordinators, like until to link two ideas, and coordinators of sequence, like then to follow the idea.
The types of relations that we could find in the text were noun plus noun, adjective plus noun collocation, verb plus direct object, and adverb plus adjective. And this, my friends, is how we finish our analysis from both texts. Thank you so much for being until the end, and we hope that through this video you become able to analyze different text types. See you in the next video.